Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you are new to our channel, make sure you are subscribing. Smash a like. Let's go 600 likes on this one and comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. Some of you will be able to notice the jungle that I've got in the corner. Basically, the old pod plant looked a bit tired. Basically, it was virtually on its last legs. So I've got a new one and it's a bit big. It's quite big. So, yeah, we're sticking with it. From IKEA. Cost quite a lot of money, to be fair, that beast in the corner. About 60 quid that cost. So it's very green as well. So, yeah, imagine as it dies over the months because... You know, it's so hard looking after something like this. But, you know, anyone that's got any advice on how to look after it, I've got an app and it says I've got to water it every 8th day. Every 5th day, spray its leaves. And it can have some special stuff going in it as well. So anyone with advice, how we can keep it alive, then that'll be very, very grateful. But new addition, huge jungle in the corner. So, yeah. Right, so why are we here? We're not here to talk about the plant. We're here to talk about the new badge, Aston Villa's new crest. And, you know, it's one of them, innit? It's one of these where some will love it, some will hate it, some won't mind it, and we'll have to learn to live with it because it's the new one. It's here to stay. But my opinion is I really like it. So I'm going to wax lyrical about it, and we're going to talk about the inspiration behind it. And Villa uploaded a video with their inspiration, and I've picked it apart, and I'm going to showcase the inspiration behind it. But I really like it. I feel for me, I'm not one of these that are round badge, round badge, round badge. Now, how I feel like this works is whatever badge you had when you were growing up watching the Villa, I'm going to probably say that is the badge that you symbolise with Aston Villa. So if you are very young enough to love the 80s and the 70s and the round badge or whatever the badge was in the 70s, especially the 80s winning the European Cup with the round badge, then I imagine that's the badge that you identify with Aston Villa. For me, as a 34-year-old guy who hasn't really seen Villa do that great. Growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, when I was absolutely loving Villa, we had sort of like a shield, the shield emblem. It varied, didn't it, with that one that went like that, or you'd got, the prepared at the bottom. So there was different variations in the 90s and 2000s, but that is the badge that I symbolise with Aston Villa. So this badge obviously is a shield. So obviously I sort of look at this and think, it's a bit like, could be learner-ish, or it could be sort of, a shield type badge, right? So I kind of like it. Now, the next part of why I like it as well is that it says Aston Villa on it. And I think that's a big part for me, that it says Aston Villa. Compared to the learner one that said sort of like avfc, I prefer the wording of Aston Villa on it. So we'll get it up now then. So we'll get it on the screen and we'll have a look at it. So Villa announced it this morning through Twitter, X. That's where I saw it first. And what Twitter and X does is when you upload a photo and then upload a profile photo, the pixel quality of that picture is absolutely terrible. So this is, for me, the best version I've seen of it, in really, really clear. I love the shield shape. I love the wording. I love that it's got the year on it as well, that we were founded. I just think it adds a bit more history and heritage to it. And I really like the star. There's some people don't like the star, but for me, as a proud Villa fan of what we did in '82, I think this helps to symbolise what we did and not forget it. And I don't think we should ever forget it. So I really, really like it. So I think the colours are in okay. The big colour that I agree with, and I think they've massively got right on the branding of this new badge is the actual claret colour. I think over the years with kits, we've had a bit of a mare with this, and I really hope that Adidas can nail the colour of the kit. I think the Luke Roper kit was bang on for me, but I think that slightly darker is better for me, and I think that's proper Villa claret. So yeah, I really like the claret on it as well. So for me, I really like it. I'd love to know your thoughts. So let's pick it apart then. So how did they get to this? So they've gone through different phases of it being authentic since 1874, which shows history and heritage, progressive, pioneering spirit. And I think this is sort of partly to do now with the NSWE era, Unai Emery, going into this progressive phase of Aston Villa. And another thing why I like this new badge is it feels Unai Emery era. And for me, I really want to remember this for the rest of my life. So this feels Unai Emery, NSWE-esque era. So I'm all over that. Uncomplicated consistency, which hopefully, again, is something that we are going into. Consistency with Villa over the years has been pretty consistent in consistently being pretty crap. So hopefully now this uncomplicated consistency basically means we are consistently good. So again, we're going into a new era, new vibe. We've got global perspective. Now, this is the big one for me. Global perspective. And this is a market that we are slowly now going to be tapping into more and more. And it's so important for the growth of Aston Villa. And we spoke about Chris Heck a couple of days ago with how he wants to kick the doors down on the big six. But global perspective, growing Villa globally and commercially is something that we've struggled with for many, many years. And Chris Heck, in my opinion, with the marketing of what he's doing with the club at the minute, the marketing of Adidas, the marketing around Birmingham, just the general gist of, if you look at any of Villa's marketing now, it's very good, it's very quick, it's very clever, and that's very important. That can get overlooked, but it's so important that this club now starts to get marketed properly. So global perspective on Villa, soon as you see that badge, soon as you see that name Aston Villa, you know who we are, you know the identity, and this is only going to grow. Now, I'll use this as a sort of a mini example, but on a fan perspective. Now, I've been creating a lot of content based on Olympiacos when I was there and the rapport I had with them. And to start with, it was very frosty. It was very hostile. They didn't want me anywhere near that stadium. And if you go on my TikTok now and have a look at what they say to me, right, and how they talk about me as a Greek brother, right, they absolutely love Aston Villa. And that's okay. That's partly because they beat us. It's partly because of like whatever. But we've built a really good rapport with them. And because we're in Europe, we're growing the club, even though we're in the Conference League. Like, honestly, Olympiacos fans, their second team now, I'm telling you, is Aston Villa. The stuff they say to me, they're like, that they've never had a fan, right, that has been so complimentary, that has been so amicable, that has been so fair, and that they can't believe how Villa fans have reacted to Olympiacos, and they absolutely love us. So what I'm trying to say is, obviously Chris Heck can do his bit, but we'll do our bit by being in Europe, etc. Clubs start to like us. The club starts to grow. Everybody starts liking Aston Villa. So you know how certain clubs can be, and I just think that is massive as well. And that's just the way the fans play their part on growing what Villa can be. So, yeah, I've gone off on one a bit about Olympiacos, but that's just what I'm saying. Right, so next phase then. So let's start talking about the inspiration behind the badge. So we can see the collar, and Villa and the marketing people have really, and the branding team have really took inspiration from the shape of the collar. So if we have a look at the two different shapes of collar that go into that little bit of a V, a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, we're going to have a V-neck on the new top," and we might do, but the branding behind the V-neck has come from the shape of the badge, which again, this is all telling the story of how we've sort of got to the badge. We've got the old school sort of prepared, but with the old sort of shield with the lion. And then this is how we've now become with the line that we've currently got now. We've got the 1874, we've got the mosaic, and this is where the inspiration from 1874 on the badges come from. We've got the Villa on the Holt end, and this is where the Aston Villa font has come from as well. So we can start to see how the inspiration is forming for the badge. We've then got this different variation, and they've showed different colours of the variations of what the badge could look like as well. There's another one, which is absolutely unbelievable as well. But we've got inspiration from Aston Villa winning the European Cup, and that's where the star comes from. But here are some of the images of like the different variations and the different colours that Villa are able to go with for the kit as well. This one looks very, very naughty indeed. I really like the colouring on this one. We've got an all-white one as well, which is probably what you'll see on some of the training gear. I imagine that's Unai Emery as well. We've got some of the branding of what it could look like as well on different branding with different teams. We've also got a new font that the club are now sporting. So this new font, I really like it. It looks like it's got history and heritage as well. We've got that new strapline of Up the Villa as well. So, yeah, I'm really liking it. There's some real cool things in here. I imagine if you don't like the badge, then you're not going to like it, are you? You can't. Well, it might grow on you, but I really like it. So this is the new badge. I think it's great. I just wanted to show you some of the inspiration behind it and how they got to this badge. And yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's fresh, vibrant, like I say, going into this new era. And I'm just, absolutely loving it. So cheers, everyone, for watching. I'm glad you've all been liking our content this week. We've got some good content coming out next week as well, which I'm really looking forward to bringing you. I don't know anything, but I've got a cheeky feeling the kit might be tomorrow. That's just a hunch. That's just a hunch. I've got a cheeky feeling that we might be seeing something tomorrow. Just got a little feeling. I don't know anything. Before you say I do, I don't. I've just got a funny feeling. June 1st, we've got the badge out the way. So now we can do the kit, can't we? You can't release the kit without showing the new badge. So now the badge is done, we can see this new kit and we'll get it on order straight away. We'll get the new kit on order. We'll get it. Hopefully, we've got our nice little Champions League patches to go on it as well, so we can all get them on it. And yeah, absolutely buzzing. So yeah, really like the badge. Up the Villa. Smash a like, comment your thoughts, subscribe.